Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week. No, this is for December 2025. And sorry, I can't get this card off the table. You have this dolphin spirit. It says, stop taking life so seriously and splash some joy in your everyday life. You have this infinite possibilities. It says, you're on the right path. Favorable energies are guiding you at this time. So, Aries, I don't know if I just said this. I'm losing my mind today. But this is for December 2025. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty good month for you already. I do feel that there is a major vibe for you about not taking life too seriously. Really, I would argue this is true for pretty much everyone right now. There's a very serious energy in the astrology, and I think we have to go the opposite direction. I talk about it all the time. And, I think being more playful, it's like people who are willing to adventure and just who don't attach an outcome to what they're doing are going to be more successful because we've had Neptune and Pisces for a very long time. Neptune is going to go direct at the beginning of December. I think it's on the 10th, but don't quote me on that. I really don't remember today. But what I would say is even when Neptune moves back into your sign in January, especially these major planets, it's like we're learning a lesson the entire time. For the years that Neptune has been in Pisces. And so we have to apply the lesson after it leaves, and we have to continue to live that energy, right? And so what I would say is, mostly because of Neptune and Pisces, I think that this is going to be very important, practicing non-attachment outcome. Oh, where I was going with that is Neptune and Pisces wants us to follow our inspirations. It wants us to just start a journey, and then we don't really have a direction. We have to be inspired on the direction, right? And if we look at your entire reading, we see a lot of inspiration. Here, with the star. The Chariot, we have these two sphinxes, and the two sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe. He kind of has like two directions that he could go in. We'll talk about it in a minute. In your first row for your current general energies, you have the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Hermit. The Seven of Wands, a card of conviction. I kind of feel like there's like something, it's like once you make a choice this month, there is no going back. It's almost like you are completely shutting the door on something, which I would never really ever say on the Seven of Wands necessarily. But, what's popping into my head for you, Aries, is that the Seven of Wands, can be a card of drawing a line in the sand, where it's like you are telling the universe, this is what I'm willing to accept. I'm not willing to accept anything below, my line in the sand into my life. And it's like when you get that sure of yourself with the Seven of Wands, it actually leads to a lot of success because you're like claiming the life that you want. But I kind of feel that some of you are about to kind of like make a decision, and it's like once you make that decision, there's no going back. But I feel this is going to be a good thing. You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups, of course, can be fulfillment or wish fulfillment for you here, Aries. It's kind of funny because we go Nine of Cups to the Eight of Cups. This would tell me that some of you are maybe walking away from something that you did once wish for, but it's like now you don't like it anymore, or you don't want it anymore. Again, this is like a very Neptune and Pisces energy. Neptune and Pisces dissolves things, and it's going to be especially important for you because Pisces is the sign that comes before you, right? So it's going to be affecting you on a deeper level, maybe than other people, except for Pisces. But Neptune dissolves. This is coming up in your 12th house, right? Even if you're not a 12th house Pisces Aries, it doesn't matter. It's still going to affect you as if it was in your 12th house. So it's dissolving things those deeper desires, the things that you think you want. Again, the thing with Neptune retrograde, especially, even though it's going to go direct on the 10th or whatever, is that we can think that there are things that make us who we are. It's like if you have external things that you think are part of your identity, Neptune dissolves those structures. So it's like maybe you think you need a car or a house, and that's like going to make you something, right? And those structures can be dissolving. So it can feel very weird because we can have these desires to like do something else, like maybe you want to live out of Airbnbs or something like that, or maybe you want to buy an RV and just travel around, but it can feel very foreign. It can feel very alien to you because something has been a part of your identity for a long time. I think the Hermit is saying that you're going to start expressing these desires by actually doing them, right? By getting rid of things that maybe you don't need. It's like maybe you're allowing things to dissolve with the Hermit and the Nine of Cups and the Eight of Cups. Again, he is walking away from something that he once wanted. He is walking away from these 8 cups. So, there's like some deep changes is what I want to say here, Aries. But I think these are good changes, of course. And I think you are also realizing like where your power truly comes from. It doesn't come from the things in your life. It comes from you. With the Seven of Wands, you have the Seven of Wands. So basically the universe saying I meant what I said. I think you're drawing a line in the sand. It's like you're shutting the door on things as well. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant can also have to do with wishes, kind of, because the Hierophant is blessing these 2 people in front of him. And so some of you could be thinking about blessings or what blessings actually mean for you. The other thing that you could be feeling here, and this is just popping into my head intuitively, this is not what the cards mean, but what's popping into my head intuitively is like maybe you're realizing that some things are kind of like keeping you in prison in some way. Maybe you're realizing that some things keep you stuck. Like what I mean by that, like if you own stuff, I feel like this is talking about stuff, this first row, for whatever reason. It's like maybe you're realizing that some things prevent you from, having the flexibility, being able to move or travel around or whatever it is you're trying to do in your life. And so again, I think you are letting go of some blessings, but that does not mean you're letting go of blessings. I think there are just things in your life that once were a blessing and now you're going and finding new blessings, right? And that's kind of the feeling I get. With the Hermit, you have the Strength card. Inner Strength, literally talked about it. Literally what we were saying. The Strength card, this is your inner voice or your inner critic, this lion. This lion is submitting to her. She is the one that's in control of her inner voice. So a lot of you are kind of like building that inner power or that inner strength, and I feel that is going to serve you much, much better than anything else here, Aries. So I definitely see like a lot of shedding going on for you. We're in the year of the snake in the Chinese astrology, in Chinese zodiac. What I would say is that like you're the only person that I've read for that where I really feel like you're shedding your skin. Everybody else, it's like the message has been that they're just going through a slow period of time. Shedding your skin, a snake shedding its skin is a slow process, right? But for you, I feel like you're literally shedding things here. And again, I think this is so that you can build your power, build your strength, plain and simple. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this card. It says it's time to take action, new moon in Aries, so yes. You have this disseminating moon. It says take time to breathe out. Yes, next year is going to be very speedy, very quick. Speaking of Chinese astrology, next year is the year of the horse, so it's going to be very quick, fast movements, building momentum, building speed, practicing freedom, all those things. So I do feel that, taking time to rest, relax, recover would be a good idea. Pretty much everyone has had the Ace of Cups, and I have a feeling that I'm probably going to say this a lot in the 2026 readings, which I'm about to do, but I would have a practice or something that allows you to recharge your batteries, whatever it is. It could be taking a nap, it could be meditating, going for a walk, doing something fun. Right, like hobbies can fill us back up as well, but I would find something. I think everybody's going to need it next year. Ace of Cups sure could represent love and all that other stuff, but the Ace of Cups can easily reach down below it and fill itself back up. I think that all of us in the collective, we need to have something that is like a pool of water that we can reach into so that we can fill ourselves back up. We're definitely going to need it next year, 2026, especially after February. So, just to give you a little preview, I would make sure that you're coming up with something, like some sort of practice or routine or whatever, right? I do also feel there could be love here, Aries. You have the Page of Cups. So there could be an admirer or a new person making you a love offer here. You have the Eight of Cups, again, walking away from things that no longer serve you. He's choosing not to settle, with these 8 cups. And, it's like I'm getting a message here as well, Aries, that maybe some of you have lost a little bit of inspiration this year. I think 2025 I'm talking about. I feel at the end of the year into the beginning of next year, it's almost like, the universe is saying okay, now it's time to get inspired. Now it's time to, make those moves and, really swing the bat really, really hard. It's time to try to have that home run, And I feel that a lot of you are kind of making those choices. It's like you're not willing to settle for less. Personally, I love the Eight of Cups because, again, he is sending, this is what's really important about this card, is he's sending a signal to the universe that he's not willing to settle. It's kind of like in relationships, right? I'm sure we've all been there, where we've stayed in something too long. He doesn't do that. He says, no, this isn't right. I don't want to be alone, but I rather also not settle for less, right? He's sending that signal and he's telling the universe, no, I am looking for something specific. I'm going to go and find it. And like when you get to that point in life, usually that's when you get the things you want. So there you go. You have the Page of Cups. I do feel there could be love coming in for you. So if you want love, this could be a love offer. That's really all I'm getting, is that there could be like a person coming in for you. I feel like this is a person you see or something like that. I don't know. I feel like you see them with your eyeballs here, Aries. So again, it could be like a person you know. You have the Eight of Wands in the next row. Eight of Wands can be like a social card, so it could say that you've already socialized with this person, or maybe it's like a friend or someone you get together with or something like that. And so if that's true, then this definitely could be a person. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Judgment card. Judgment is waking up to your purpose, and I do feel it's a good time for Aries to focus on their, what they think their purpose is. These people, they have this coffin. The coffin represents their old life. Outside the coffin is their new life. And so their higher self is calling them to step into the new life. You are clearly being asked to shut the door on the past, or to, completely close something out. And that's really the feeling I got in your first row, that you are completely closing something out. Like there's no going back. Once you make the change, it's like, that's it. That's, it's kind of like a more dramatic ending that you're making here. And there you go. With the Eight of Cups, you have the Three of Cups. I literally just said socializing. So, like I said, I think if you want love, could be a person you've already socialized with. Three of Cups is also celebrating a harvest. I feel like Aries has been trying to have a harvest for a long time. If I were an Aries, I would be working on like promoting things, really, is what I feel like saying, especially if you have a business. But again, even if you don't have a business, we are always selling ourselves. I know people don't like when I say this, but too freaking bad. It's how life works, unfortunately, or fortunately, if you're smart. We are always trying to get something out of everything. And again, people don't like the truth, I guess, but it is what it is. It's like same thing in relationships. It's like both people want something out of it. Like, why is that a bad thing? And why is it a bad thing to get better at highlighting those skills, or, making yourself someone that is desirable or something like that? Same thing in work or business. It's like, yeah, you have to sell yourself to a potential job, right? And like I said, I know people don't like it, or some people don't, but again, getting better at how you promote yourself, I think, would be a good skill with the Three of Cups. I think it will just lead to a harvest. With the Page of Cups, you have the Justice card. It could be a Libra coming in for some of you, your opposite sign. Justice is also balance. I do think you are attracting a very balanced person if you are looking for love. I feel like this person finds you very attractive, Aries, is what I would say. We have the Queen of Wands. It's like there's going to be no doubt that this person is interested in you. I think you're going to be probably equally as interested in them. So, again, it looks good to me. One thing I will say with the Justice card is I do feel we have to be careful with fairness in next year, in 2026. Again, I'll probably talk more about this in the 2026 readings. It doesn't mean that things won't be fair, but what it does mean is that we shouldn't, if you're approaching a project, for example, and you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm going to put 40 hours into this and I'm going to get this result. Probably not, right? Like, I think it will be harder if you are trying to track the amount of effort you're putting into something and saying I should be getting this result, right? The trick with Saturn and Aries is we just have to finish. we just have to put in the work as much as it takes, and we have to finish it. But if we're sitting there and we're saying I did this many hours of work, and you're adding it up on a calculator, you're really going to struggle, right? So I'm not saying that we should be burning ourselves out, but I think we should be careful of saying like, I only need to do this much, right? I think here's another better way to put it, maybe Aries, Eight of Wands and Chariot. Both of those cards are follow through. You don't have a finish line. You don't stop at a finish line. You go past it, right? How many videos are there on like social media of people who celebrate too soon, right? They're like running a race. They celebrate because they get to the end of the finish line and then they trip and fall and someone blows past them, right? That is 2026. We have to make sure that we don't celebrate too soon. We have to go past the finish line of anything we're working on. And if we're thinking like, oh, things should be fair or, balanced or whatever, probably not. So there you go. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Here and Now card and this Time for a Nap card. Yes, and coming up with ways to recharge your batteries, like I said earlier, is going to be very beneficial for you. Being present, just dealing with things as they come, is going to be important as well. I do think that even though Neptune is going to be leaving Pisces again permanently, we'll be dead the next time Neptune comes back to Pisces in 80 whatever years it is. So we won't be here, thank God. I don't want to go through that again. And there you go. But what I would say is that we have to, kind of practice non-attachment to outcome. That's part of what Neptune and Pisces taught us, is that we have to be present. And what I wanted to say is we have to be careful of projecting too much into the future. And so that I think that Here and Now card is saying, like, do what you can with what you got right now and don't, kind of project too much. You have the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, and the High Priestess. Eight of Wands is like quick success, building a lot of momentum, which definitely with Saturn moving back into your sign next year at the end of February will be very good for building momentum and speed and focus. All those things is what, are things you can work on. All those wands are pointing in one direction, and so that is the trick, is that we cannot be pulling in two directions with the Eight of Wands. We have to pick a point. You have the Star card here. The Star is about having a North Star, having that guiding light that you work towards, and it's like you don't have to dedicate your entire life to something, but for the most part, do the actions you take add up to the Star? And if the answer is yes, good, then things are going to go well. If the answer is no, you're pulling in two different directions, then you're going to struggle. So I would make sure that your thoughts, the words you use against yourself with the Strength card, the actions you take, they all are adding up to one thing. That is your ticket to success next year. You have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, very attractive at this time, Aries, so it doesn't matter what gender you are either. I feel, this is the card of seduction, so you could be finding yourself being very popular. Not only this next month, but, again, for 2026. I almost feel like this is a 2026 reading here, Aries. We're still going to keep it to December, but, the universe doesn't wear a watch. So whatever comes up is what I say. And, what I would say here is that, I think really you're entering into maybe a little bit of a popular time. The Queen of Wands is a card of learning as you go. And so you have that Here and Now card. It's basically saying, like, if you're being led, let's say you're working on a specific goal or you're working towards something in your personal life, it's saying, like, keep the goal in mind, but, be willing to follow your inspirations. And if you don't know something, learn about it and you'll get to the finish line. So, I would stay focused. You have the High Priestess, very intuitive time. I think almost everyone has had the High Priestess this month, so, I think we should all be following our intuition. You have this card that says Infinite Possibilities at the beginning. It said, you're on the right path. Favorable energies are guiding you at this time. She has no roof over her head, and she's supposed to be sitting outside of a temple, but there's no roof. And so the High Priestess can represent unlimited potential or unlimited possibilities in your life. And she just has to realize that the only limitations are the ones that she puts on herself. And so a great way to exceed your own expectations with the High Priestess is to be willing to explore mysteries, being willing to learn, like I just said. She knows when to shut out the world. There is a theory that her back is to the world. And she's shutting out the noise of the world so that she can focus on what she wants. I don't think you're going to be doing this like all the time, but I think that you need to know the right times. If you're trying to focus and there's too much noise, then maybe you need to go into your shell a little bit, right? And then obviously there are going to be times where you have to come out of your shell as well. And this is about balance. With the Eight of Wands, you have the Four of Swords. resting, relaxing, recovering. So knowing when to take a break, knowing when to back off, right? Knowing when to not burn yourself out. I think that's going to be a big theme for you this month. Told you, with the Queen of Wands, you have the Lovers. I definitely felt love on that Page of Cups there. So definitely could be new love. Could be a Gemini as well that's coming in for you, Aries. Really could be any sign. You have basically everything here. Taurus, Leo, Virgo, Pisces, Cancer, Aquarius. Those are the signs that really stand out to me. But, in Gemini, obviously. But, could be any sign. This could be a new connection. Could lead to a movement as well. So some of you might be moving in with a person. With the High Priestess, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, I think your intuition is pushing you to do new things, It's like I think part of the challenge here is the Nine of Cups to the Eight of Cups. You feel like you're being pulled away from a wish, but really it's like you're being brought to a better wish, is what I feel here. So don't be afraid of putting in the work. Sorry, it's trying to focus on my eyeball here, so there we go. But, I would put in the work. Let's see. In the area of the good stuff, you have this mature woman. It says, wise, older, influential woman, a mother figure, good advisor, boss, mentor. You have this occupation. It says work, business, labor, hobbies, projects, self-employment, a lot of effort, all mental and physical activities. Yes, we talked about activity this entire reading. So I would be focusing on the work that you're doing and, putting in the work. I think a lot of you are maturing, and you don't have to be a woman. Like I said, you could be any gender. This is a general reading. But a lot of you are definitely bossing up here, I feel. You have the Chariot, the Page of Pentacles, and the Star. The Chariot can be charging towards a victory and charging forward. Definitely, this is going to be a big theme for you next year and this year. I think it's going to start in December. And, he is leaving the city behind him behind. He is doing something to set himself apart. I feel a lot of brainstorming energy here. I feel like in 2025, you probably have been doing a lot of brainstorming, especially for those of you that have a business or a career or a job, whatever you want to call it. I think you've been kind of thinking about how you can level up what you're doing, and we don't really see this in the reading, but maybe have things felt stuck for you, Aries? I'm not so sure, but just the same. It's like I feel like you've been trying to have some sort of breakthrough, in work or career. Even if you're retired, it's like, just because you're retired doesn't mean that you don't want a financial breakthrough. And the Chariot is about charging forward and, setting yourself apart, doing things differently. I would also say these two Sphinxes here, they represent the mysteries of the universe. They are not attached to the Chariot. The Chariot, he has these stars up here, these moons right here, and it represents as above, so below. And so he is in alignment with what he wants, which is the secret with the Chariot. He doesn't really care how he gets to the finish line, right? He just knows because he's in perfect alignment with what he wants, he's going to get there. So my favorite way to get into alignment is to adopt the habits of success with whatever you want, whether it's love, business, money, health, anything. You just adopt the habits of success and you start to live it. And if you do that, you will probably charge right towards a victory. You have the Page of Pentacles. I feel like, again, very just a popular energy here. I wouldn't be surprised if you start communicating a lot more with people in general. And I think a lot of people are going to want to communicate with you between, starting in December. So you could find yourself, kind of communicating a lot, working a lot with people, all that other stuff. I just feel a lot. I just feel a lot of communication here, Aries. You have the Star. Probably the best thing for you is to pick a goal and just work towards it, right? And make sure everything is in alignment with that goal. The words that you use against yourself, your habits, the activities that you do every single day, all that. And if you do that, I feel you'll get to the Star very quickly. With the Chariot, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, Seven of Cups is spoiled for choice. Again, I think the Chariot is saying that there are many ways that you can accomplish something. And so just staying flexible, staying in the moment is going to be the trick there. With the Page of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, Knight of Swords and the good stuff can be charging towards success. Chariot, Eight of Wands, these are all great cards of charging towards success, so love it. With the star, you have the Knight of Cups, so definitely could be love. You're like the only person this month that has really had a love reading. Everybody else has been very small. So if you want love, there definitely could be a Knight in Shining Armor coming in for you. I kind of feel like just in general, Aries, that you could be kind of like falling in love with life again, which is pretty good as well. You have this Parrot card. It says, someone will gossip about you and all your secrets. Good. I don't know, it's free attention. I like this card. It's like, who cares? Let them talk. They're giving you free attention. You have this Cobweb card. It says, protected from negative forces beyond your control. Yes, I think you are protected. I feel like everybody's protected right now. You know, it seems like there's a lot of bad stuff going on. And I'm not saying that there isn't, but I do feel we need to realize that we are protected. You have this wishbone. It says, a wish granted. There you go. It's like a new wish, though. I feel that some of you are kind of releasing something that's an old wish, and you're working towards a new one. You have this bow. It says, you are highly thought of. Yes, I told you this entire reading, it seems to me like you're going to be very popular, not just this month, I think for like the next year, all the way through 2026, maybe even longer. So I would take advantage of it if you're trying to build a following, if you're trying to promote yourself in business or in your career. It's like I would take advantage of that popular energy. You have this tower. It says, solid foundation, success with effort. Yes, definitely. Cross that finish line. Keep going. Don't stop at the finish line. Really cement your wins. Really make sure. And that's the secret. But damn, Aries, I love this reading for you. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like and leave a comment. And definitely enjoy your December.